All right, Oniffe, we're live.
Yay!
How are you?
Good, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, long
yeah,
day, but I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. Finally, I'm seeing you, and because I've been hearing your voice for I don't know two years now.
Yeah, it's about 2 years that yeah, you've been hearing my voice. So nice to actually uh come, see each other and
Yeah,
get
that's
those
nice.
tactile.
And it's very interesting. Sometimes you hearing someone for a while, right? When you see them, and the image is slightly different.
That's what
Yeah,
splashed you, huh?
yeah, no, in a good way, though. In a good way, because I always hear you. Very you always have great suggestions to the room, to clubhouse, and almost like you're teaching someone, very opinionated.
Which normally I don't mean to be opinionated. It's just
Yeah,
that when we're sitting in a space and people are coming to learn and
yeah,
acquire information and do all those things,
right, right.
there's times when people have a specific agenda that they want to get across.
Mm-hmm,
And I'm saying, wait, that's not fair to the people that are here trying to
mm-hmm,
understand and figure out and get information.
mm-hmm.
So I try to be like, oh, let me cut into that a little bit to negate that behavior that individuals are doing because of whatever personal agenda they're trying to push. So it tends to be a either reactionary to some of that,
Mm-hmm.
or um, the same way that I want to go into a space and learn from you
Mm-hmm.
and get gleam. Hopefully whatever I have in this head of mine I can impart onto somebody else and they can take and run with it and do whatever they need to do, wonderful things hopefully with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So you have that, leadership or just instructor teacher kind of quality. So I always like to ask my guest, what is your background? I know you were born in Jamaica and you immigrated to this country when you were like 10, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was born in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Went to school obviously there, all those things, and I began my immigration at 10, and with my final immigration at 15 is how that began. So I was going back and forth, school and all between both. So yes, I am lucky to be of an island that small but yet world impactful.
So, what language do you speak? Also, both like both language, like
So I
English,
speak English,
uh,
Jamaican, which
Jamaican.
is a mixture of a few things such as the West African languages, English, some mixture with Irish is,
Mm.
word diction. It's got all those things mixed together. And then I speak Japanese because I lived in Japan
Oh my God! For how long?
about 5 years.
That's a long time,
Yeah. Best
man.
place I've ever lived.
What, is it because you work there? You're in
Yes, I
service.
was I was in the service. I was in the Navy. And
Mm-hmm.
so what I would do was what we called OTEP. So my initial contract was for 2 years, and then I would do this thing where it extends you. So I just kept on extending because I was there so long that those who would normally say no, you can't do this, they would leave before they would be able to say that. And so when the new person came in, I just kept on extending. And I mean, it's not against any rule. As a matter of fact, the first person who told me to do it was a chief. Anyway, they're like, "Oh, nobody. It doesn't matter. Just put it in, extend." And so, yeah, I extended because it's so wonderful there.
Oh yeah. So tell me a little bit like when I think about military life, right? And you have to like be trained, you have to hold the guns, and you have to do running, and you have to obey the authorities. Is that your life in Navy was like?
Yes and no. It depends on where you go. I worked in a hospital, but I also worked with the Marines, and so in the hospital, or it's different. In the hospital, it's more you live on base. It's more free. It's you either live on base or you can live off base, which I also lived off base. So you have that life, but you have to show up. Like and work and put in those hours. I worked in the ER, I worked in the operating room, um, I worked in occupational health. These are stints of time within those spaces. And then I also did training, certain kind of training with the Marines. Yeah, so.
Hey, Darian is here. Hi, Darian. Oh, good to see you. So, do you think when you join the Navy, do you think you do it for like what reason? Do you do it just
Uh,
because you think it's fun, or do you think you can get education free, or what?
so all of the above and more. So I wanted to be, I was working on being a doctor to be a PA. So
Oh,
yeah. And so working on that, I was like, how am I going to do this? So I was like, let me join the Navy, young people, and Navy medicine's pretty good. And,
nice.
because that's what you hear. And then you go in and Navy medicine is pretty good.
Mm,
And I learned all that, was studying to be a PA. That had my whole medical background of all the things we did, and then I got out. And when you're hands deep doing all of that stuff, just patients from mass casualty incidents of helicopter crashing, and I also worked on the island as an EMT, where I was at the fire station with Japanese firefighters. And so when you're doing that and you always have a medical emergency, you've got patients' lives in your hands and all that excitement, because it was exciting. And then you've got stuff with Marines, with you name it, crazy things, and that's excitement. And then you come out and all you're doing is just bookwork at first, when you've done the same training, the same learning lessons as PA there. Then you turn around and you go, I don't want this anymore, because there's nothing lively about it. Like every day was, I kid you not, every day was an adventure, because you never know what was going to take place, what patient, what anything, something crazy could come into the ER, you name it. So that's my whole why. So I wanted to join. I did it for the medical reasons, and then it didn't pan the way I wanted it to in terms of excitement from one to one. So when I got out, I decided to communications, film and television.
wow. So I understand you used to watch television and HBO with your mom on Friday nights, and that is first sort of exposure of the film and
So no,
TV.
so in Jamaica with my dad, because my mother lives here.
Oh, okay.
In Jamaica, my dad loves movies. My dad
Yeah.
is a huge movie fan.
Yeah.
And so every Friday we would
Uh,
go to the video store with him
yeah.
and we pick out our three movies.
Uh-huh.
And hey, pick out, he picks, and then however, and like, Dad, this is the movie, so you take that. And then probably you're of that age where you get home and he'd have the movie and he'd record them and copy them one to the next. So we have our copy in the video store. We bring that to the video store,
VHS.
the VHSs. Yeah. And that was my initial love of movies like Commando and Invasion USA and with Chuck Norris and Back to the Future 2 and all those movies that you can possibly think of. I'd continually watch those because my father never limited what kind of movies we could watch. And
So
so,
what is what name one thing as a filmmaker, which part, or maybe two things, which two things you really like to do as a filmmaker, because there's so many different parts.
there's so many different parts. My least favorite, I'll say first, is the writing, because I'm more of a director than anything else. That's where my focus is, directing. But I write because there's stories I want to tell, and the stories I want to tell, no one else is telling them like I want to tell them, so I write them. And though I do like writing, it's also the most tedious part of the process. So the pre-production is wonderful, especially when you can bounce ideas off of another human being. So I can't wait. Like Darian's here, but I cannot. I've been waiting to work with Darian in the space of VFX. Like I can't wait for him to be the VFX supervisor on something I'm working with.
Yeah,
Working on.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
I can't
Yeah.
wait to work with him and say, hey, and especially the part where he's like, as long as it's done, then that's good. And I'm like, no, that's not how we work. It's I want the best of what's in that mind of yours. That's what I want. My favorite part is trying to pull the best
Hmm.
out of somebody's mind, or they have an idea and then I just say, I like that idea. Here's something else to add to it. And they go, ooh, and they run away and they come back and they do it the thing and then they come back and I go, oh, okay, I like that. I like that. How about we add this? And then keep doing that until we refine it down and chisel away at the most perfect part. That probably is my favorite part, is the collaboration with other humans.
That's awesome. And I met you on Clubhouse, and some people in audience or when they watch our replay, they may not know what is Clubhouse. So, can you articulate what is a Clubhouse?
Clubhouse is an audio social media platform, an audio only social media platform for a group to group discussion, or if you'd like to say peer to group discussion on numerous topics, you name it. A lot of the times it's on the platform, it's some relationship thing of men and women going at each other, but in our platform, in our space of what we do, the bubble, it's filmmaking that ranges across from writing with Amanda Maresco and screenwriting and story love and all those things, to Darian Dounge's 1 Minute Film School of what's going on there in that space, to you name it. But if it has to do with film, there is that bubble of filmmakers that communicate with each other. And then we have Ching's smartphone filmmaking. We do that bubble of communication, so it's a space to uh, gather or gain information through an audio platform.
Yeah,
uh,
awesome. Yeah, I met you, I met Darian, I met Amanda, I met so many wonderful people. Yeah, so I wanted to know you. The least thing you like is to write, but you are very committed to go to the room of Amanda. So tell us a little bit, why is that Amanda is teaching people how to write a script?
it may be my least favorite thing, but it's also something that I care deeply, deeply about, because no matter how good of a director I want to think myself to be, if the script isn't right, you don't have a good movie at all. A, the director can take a good script and make it a great script, but a director can never take a bad script and make it a good movie.
Mm.
But a director could take a good script and make it a bad movie. And
Mm.
so, out
Mm.
of the three options there, only one is a good script
Mm.
turned into a good movie by a director. So it's important to get the script and storytelling as best as you can be. And so, storytelling, structure, all those things in the Q&A. I love to be in that space, because knowing that craft and shaping that craft is fully important to the overall mode of filmmaking. And though like I said earlier, it's my least favorite, it's also, I still love it. It's
Mhm.
just, there is that right now I'm in that mode. And because I'm in the screenwriting mode, there's just a tediousness of saying, oh my God, I need to get this right. It's kicking me in my ass right now. I need to shape it. So while I'm doing it is what I'm
Yeah.
cussing. But
Yeah.
after it's over, I'm going to go, oh, I love that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, it's funny you said this relationship between screen, the bad screen or good screen, and then director. So in classical music, I'm a classical musician too, and there's a
I've seen
saying,
your work.
because a lot of people don't know what the heck is a conductor doing, right? The conductor of an orchestra. But so there's a saying: there's no bad orchestra, only bad conductor.
Ah, there it is. There
Yeah,
it is.
because a good conductor, he can mold an orchestra really well.
A
Of course.
director and a conductor are the
uh,
same exactly.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, awesome, awesome. And we have some more people come in. Let's see, Dean, how do you say that? Denneen. Is that your friend?
And
Oh, my friend. Griffin.
Deneen.
Janine Griffin, thank you for being with us. Darian, let's see. Before you go, does he like Demarage? Okay, so he asked you a question. I put it there. Before you go, do you know
Dimash.
Demarage?
Does he like Dimash? I don't know.
Oh, before you goes James. my friend, my friend, Clubhouse, who is a YouTuber, James. He has an incredible YouTube channel. He only does drone. He only
Oh.
does drone. He only talks about drone. So you should check him out. Yeah.
Oh, I
Anyway,
should check him out. I do want
yeah,
to know about it because drone pilots, good drone pilots, are always,
yeah.
always an important.
Yeah, he only like does his YouTube on drone. So he introduced me a Dimash. Do you know who Dimash was? Is
No, I do not. I don't
okay.
know that.
I'm gonna tell you later. And you're gonna be. I don't know you will like him, but I started liking him a lot. Dimash, and the last name I don't know how to pronounce. So he's a very young, 29-year-old pop singer. He can sing seven ranges, seven
Oh,
octaves.
wow,
Yeah, he can sing as low as like a bass, and then as high as soprano, and with the falsetto.
wow.
Yeah, I'll give you a link later. Okay,
All right, let me take a look.
he's so awesome. But anyway, I think I fallen in love. I'm falling in love. Anyway, thank you, James, to be with us, and we also have Jeremy George.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy. How are you? And yeah, so let's talk about your film. You made a film with no budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called. Let me see. Wait a minute. I have my notes here. It's called "Echoes of a Winter Sunshine."
Yes.
So tell us about.
So Echoes of Winter Sunshine is about two siblings who are homeless, and it follows them on a day's journey through, what it's like for them in their life. It takes place in Harlem, so that's Echoes of Winter Sunshine. Um, the plus I love about the movie is it's emotionally driven, character driven, based on those two characters and what takes place, and so that's Echoes of Winter Sunshine. And yes, I made it for no budget. So I go to Fordham University. I went to Fordham University. Shout out to Fordham. And I'm a communications major. It doesn't have a film department, but it does have an art department. And in there, they have some, film and video classes. And then, it's stuff that you may know because of, you pick up a camera and you shoot and light and all those things. And it's got a couple of pieces of equipment that you can do in there, but that's it. And for the class, I had a project to do. I got a little sick, so I almost had pneumonia at the time. And so, oh wow, I need this project. I need to have it, and I hadn't done any work. And my professor was like, "Oh, you don't have to do this one. You could just come up with something else." And then, like, not but 5 seconds before walking into class, ding, an idea popped in my head about these two kids. So I walk in and I just start fleshing out the idea to her because I had to present something, because I'm behind. And and while I'm talking, I'm seeing the ideas and it's coming out. And I went home that night, just wrote the first draft, and I kept on writing it. And then I tried to shoot it that day in that semester in school, but never ask anyone or actors anywhere, whatever it is, to shoot anything when it's Christmas season. They either have their finals to do or they've got to go home to go see family. So with those two things in my way, I'm just like, man, I can't shoot this. So I had to come up with a whole different project, shoot that at home. Great. However, get an A+. We're good. But that's a different project. So I was like, I have this great script. So I went on Backstage, typed it out, got some actors, sent it out. They go, whoa, this is amazing. I want to be a part of this, but I'm in the Virgin Islands right now, or I'm doing this right now. So I waited till the following semester for the next semester to begin. But I was like, So I took it off because I knew I had something written special. Because how I knew I had it special, I read it to my sister, and during the middle of reading it, she started crying. I was like, "Gotcha!" So that's when I knew I had something special,
Oh, that's
like
sweet.
finalized. She was
That's
tearing up.
sweet.
All of a sudden, she just got quiet, and I was like, and I just hear the tears just coming, hear her
Yeah.
crying. I was just like,
Uh,
"Huh, all right, I have this special." And every time I send it out, people are like, "Whoa, what is this?" So everyone, when they read it, they want to be a part of it, and they said I'll work on it for free. So my DP worked for Coca-Cola, but he said, so when I asked him why does he want, he goes, "This is the stuff I signed up for, not the Coca-Cola commercials.
oh my God.
This right here. So I will do it for free. Do you work on points?" And I was like, "Sure." And I gave him points.
What's point?
So in your film
Yeah.
and what you have, because films are a business,
Uh,
right?
uh,
It's a straight up 100% business. Most big companies, they incorporate the film, right?
mm,
It's an
mm,
LLC.
mm,
So if you have that thing, it's 100%, right?
mm, mm,
So 1 point is 1%,
mm,
10 points is 10%. And so the points is a percentage of that company or film. So
mm,
anytime it makes money, that person gets, you know, the value of that, what that is worth. So he got points. He got 10 points because, you know, my actors, I gave them all points. Everybody who worked, I said, just even though I didn't ask for it, I said, here are points. So
mm,
anytime this thing makes money,
mm,
you make money.
mm. Oh,
So
they got IMDb too.
yes, they get IMDb credit, but I'm willing to, at that time for my first film, I
Mm,
wasn't paying anyone. I
mm,
wasn't doing any of that stuff. Here are these points because you believed in this
mm,
project. So
mm.
now I'm saying, here you go. You get the value for what you believed in.
That's cool.
Um,
Yeah.
and
So you
so,
you you shot in New York City.
yes. So New York City, you're lucky in New York City. So I went to the corner stores around my area and I asked, "Hey, can I shoot in here for however?" And because it's Harlem, it's cool. They said yes. So they allowed me to come in and interrupt their whole store for like 4 hours. And they were a part of the whole shooting. One would bring a sandwich, one was actually in there. And they allowed me to do all of that and were
That's
willing to do it.
cool.
They had customers during the middle of the shoot would come in also. "Hey, can you pass me that toilet paper?" And I take it down and hand it to them, all that stuff. While this whole crew is set up in this corner store, I'm doing all of that. So yeah,
Awesome. 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 So how long is the film and where can we see it?
the film is 15 minutes long. It's no, I had to, okay, so it's no longer on a platform. It was on Prime Video at first, Amazon, lucky me. And then because
Wow.
Amazon sent that to me and asked, "Hey, would you like to put that?" And I said yes. And then it was also on Stars. So I won the 2020 Black Star Film Festival. Let me turn it this
Wow.
way, and maybe you can see
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Nice.
Name
Nice,
all
nice.
that. That goes to Winter Sunshine. So I
Oh,
won
how
that.
is that? Wait. Amazon is that has like a time limit? Like you can only put that
No,
long?
I'll tell you what happened. So, um, being on Stars at the time, because they paid me a bunch
Yeah,
of money for
yeah,
winning.
yeah,
Uh, the money that they paid me, I
yeah.
couldn't have it on multiple platforms. They had exclusivity to it. So
I
I
see.
had to go and talk to Amazon and take it down from the platform, even though people had bought it
Yeah,
on the platform. I had to
I
take it
see.
down from the platform and put it on Stars.
Mm,
And then I haven't pushed to get it back up because uh, I don't want to live on the laurels of that.
mm, mm,
It won great. It's
mm,
there, but I can't keep. Oh, look, Echoes of Winter Sunshine, Echoes of Winter Sunshine, Echoes of Winter
mm,
Sunshine.
mm.
It's the next thing that's occurring. And
Right.
so once I finish the script for the next thing, then I'll put Echoes back up onto something. Once I shoot and finish and I'm on that, then I'll do that. But on this at this time, I'm off the mindset that I'm gonna close the door on
Mm.
saying here go see Echoes because it's the next project that I need to focus on.
Yeah, a friend of mine told me, says, you never finish a film. It is how you can abandon it or something like that. In other words, you have to abandon your film to be able to move on, right? Because
Yes.
usually we're always holding on something.
Yes.
And but in the other hand, you have a you have credibility when you finish something, whether it's short or feature. So that gives you a sort of a yeah, a credit for people who may support you for the next project, right? I mean, you've done
So
it.
I got lucky my first time out.
Mm,
Um, because of school, a friend of mine who was also in that same film class, she was my assistant on Echoes. And she was like, hey, she sent me this flyer that they have this at school,
mm-hmm,
enter this contest. And I was like, oh, okay. So I knew when I read it, it didn't really follow the rules of what the contest was about because
mm.
it was supposed to be 10 minutes. My film was 15 and went out of
Oh,
that scope. But I
uh-huh.
still entered and I didn't care. So
Mm.
I entered it. And then I get an email back. This is the first thing I ever enter. And I get an email back that says, you didn't win such and such, but you won this. So it was $750. All that was the original first prize, second prize, third prize, and a grand prize. She said so much that she wanted this film to be a part of something else that they're willing to pay $2,500 for
Wow.
instead of the $750 for
Wow.
this film to be a part of this other thing
Mm-hmm.
that they're doing. So she put together something completely out different and separate just to showcase the
Mm.
film. And it was this chat book that you can find on the internet that is just specifically echoes of Winter Sunshine and other art forms just to showcase the film, plus the 2,500 and all this other stuff,
That's
just
awesome.
because of that. So I got 3 times the amount of the initial prize just for entering. So just go ahead and enter, everybody. Doesn't matter. Just do it. You never know. And
Yeah.
so my first time out the gate entering any contest, I won.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of probably the craziest moment ever in terms of, oh, people feel my art.
Yeah.
The first time I do something and people say, we connect with that. Now, how does that correlate to financing? The same people who saw this film show it to everybody. And any projects that I have, they always want to be the first to read it, look at it, and see it and say, yes, I want to be a part of that. So they're willing to finance
That's
just
awesome.
because of those moments.
So tell us the next project. Would you tell us you don't you can keep certain things secret.
Yeah, so no. So the next project, or the next space I'm working with,
Uh,
is I was working on the Jamaica's Heroes Modernized project,
uh,
which was a project about the national heroes of Jamaica.
yeah.
But I'm no longer working on that project. I'm doing something else called Anansi House. Big up to Darian on it because we're both Jamaican. Um, I am doing something a little bit different. It's Ava DuVernay deals with America and the African American space and all those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Um, I am of two things. I grew up in both Jamaica and America. I am
Yeah.
Jamaican, so I'm focused on telling the Jamaican story,
Yeah.
specifically Jamaican folklore. And so right now I did it 2020 on Christmas. It was Anansi House's old time Jamaican Christmas. So we
Uh-huh.
have an old time Jamaican Christmas aspect for creating a world, and that was a radio show. And
Yeah.
so we're taking Anansi House and we're doing for 2023 another radio show with a lot of talents, singing, poetry, all that stuff. And we're putting it into a story of a radio show. And that's going to be for Jamaica's 60th independence or 61st. So it's going to be under that banner. It's going to be another radio show for August 6th. And then it's another radio show for December, the Christmas time. And then I'm working on finishing the script for my feature film to shoot this year, hopefully. So,
Wow.
yes, and that one is another film about Jamaica and uh, middle class Jamaica. Because a
Uh-huh.
lot of times in Jamaica, they put out movies. It's only two things. One thing only. It's about the ghetto life and shooting guns. But Jamaica is a middle class country at most, with very conservative and all those things. So I want to tell the middle class story, but through folk tales. So that's where I'm focusing on. So Anansi, who is one of the who is the spider god, who is all about fun and tricks and all those things, but he's also um, the one who gave man wisdom. And so I'm working on that folklore, God story, doing that genre of things, telling those stories and tell them the best way I can. So once I finish the script, I link up with Darian a little bit and see what kind of ideas that we can come up visual effects wise to execute what these gods would look like.
So you earlier we talked about you were born in Jamaica and came to this country at 10. Now I hear lots of you know stories about you mentioned Jamaica. And do you feel like you are American or you are Jamaican American, or seems like you still feel like your roots is over there?
Um, it's one of those little back and forth because identity is a crazy thing, right? My impetus to do things, it's very Jamaican.
I
The
love
thing,
Jamaican food.
right? And so the core of who I am and why I do things and not worry about stuff and why someone may say, "Oh, that's racism" and all those things, and I'm ignoring that, and I'm like, "Ah, I don't care about that. That's a social construct. Let me go off and do my thing here." That is an important aspect of my Jamaican identity, and so that's important to me. From school to you name it. I've been in the space of America too, and that's also an important aspect. But it didn't shape me for 15 years like those first things. So I would say I am Jamaican before I am American. Yet I have had the American experience. So it's one of those things that is tied. It's iffy, and I always push back on people too a lot because people think that all Jamaicans are Africans, right?
Mm.
And that's not true. Um, Jamaica is a mixture of many things. It's mostly 90 to 92% African, but we make up of Chinese, East Indians, East Indians or South Asians. Um, we make up Syrians, Jewish,
Wow.
Germans.
Wow.
That and all those individuals come together and constitute what makes Jamaica
Mm.
unique in its place in its fold. The Chinese have been in Jamaica for almost 200 years.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes,
Mm,
almost.
wow.
They came in the middle of the 18th century after emancipation. So, the Jamaican government and all those things were looking for inexpensive labor after emancipation of enslaved people. And so, after the emancipation of enslaved people. And so they send out word to the Chinese. They came in Jamaica and
Mm.
they make up a huge major part of what Jamaica's identity.
Wow.
Jamaica,
Wow.
Chinese food is
They
different in
like
Jamaica.
they like rice and you like rice.
Right.
Your rice is more tasty though.
Rice
Chinese
and
people
peas.
Chinese people like to eat like white rice a lot, you
So
know.
no, but in Jamaica, that's a mixture of just like Chinese ingredients and things like that.
Huh?
The style of cooking
Yeah.
mixed with Jamaican. So there's Jamaican Chinese style foods.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this month, this month is almost over. This month, I feature all African American on my show. I have been doing this live interview. Today, I think you are my episode 200. I don't know,
But I
17.
I'm not African American.
Well, oh, you're not, but you're darker skin though, right? Oh, you no, you're just joking with me. Anyway,
But I'm not. I'm a Jamaican.
okay, okay.
I'm
Well,
of African ancestry, but I am a Jamaican man. So, but you said you're showcasing African
yeah.
Americans, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it's actually wait,
just
Black
messing.
History Month. Yeah,
Yes, it is.
so you're not consider yourself black?
No, I am African. The
Oh, okay,
identity of so I'm African phenotypically. That's what I
okay.
look like, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Genetically, there's a mixture of numerous things in there, just
I
like
see. Yeah, I
many
see.
West
You,
African. But phenotypically, that's what I.
you're a
But the
mud.
identity of saying this person's white,
uh,
this
uh,
person's black. That's
yeah,
a social construct
yeah,
crafted by
right.
um, Carl Linnaeus, who
Uh-huh.
never left Europe at all, but yet he classified a subspecies of Homo sapien with those things: the
Mm,
Homo sapien afro, the Homo sapien europeana, the Homo sapien americanus, the Homo
mm,
sapien asiaticus, and the
mm,
Homo sapien monstrous, which is the
mm,
wildest category you can possibly think of, that he placed a bunch of things in a mix, where he said, oh, monstrous includes wild girls and wolf boys and Patagonian dwarves and single sacked Hottentots. He put legend into, he just took European legend, just chucked it into this category
mm,
of thing. Now, if someone is going to create that social construct
mm,
that correlates with the rise of Europeans, in the world economically,
mm,
there is a social construct of hierarchy purposely created to say these people are lesser, I am greater. I'm going to
mm,
use that social construct
mm,
to divide up and mix things up. And it's just like, that thing didn't make sense in the first place.
mm,
It has no bearing at all, because like I said to individuals the other day, genetic, there is more genetic diversity within the continent of Africa,
mm,
right,
mm,
than anywhere else in the world combined. Now, if you can have more genetic diversity within the continent of Africa than anywhere else in the world combined, then that means the category of black, white, Asian, or
mhm.
yellow or red, and any of those things
Yeah,
does not mean anything.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the
Well,
title
it's
of
great. It's great you think that way.
the title of black is there's a futility to it, but the reason is because people make so much money. There's big business in race, in the dialogue of race. There's huge business. A lot of people make their money daily off of it, and if they don't push it, they don't eat.
Mm,
And so they push this false social
mm,
construct
mm,
that is real, but it's not. Race is a real thing if you want to define it, but in the
mm,
categories that they placed it in, it's not real.
mm.
And it only works if you accept that it's real.
Speaking of that, do you ever run into trouble? There's a lot of police brutality, and they just would, abuse people of color for no reasons. Did you ever, or your parents ever, worry about you?
My parents and my mother did worry about it, but that's what parents do. My mother at least worried, because there's a nurturing aspect to that.
Mhm.
Um, but here is statistics. So when actually the data from the FBI, when you look at it, right, because they take data from police departments all the time and they review them and do that, there is a 2%
Mm,
difference between so-called black people or African Americans being stopped and in a negative response, and a white person being stopped in negative response. So is there racism? Yes. Is it as large and as massive as being purported?
mm,
No,
mm,
it's not. It's actually more often than not in interactions tertiary
mm,
to the whole interaction. Um, if I was to go throughout my day or my week or my month and say to you, how many times did I have a negative interaction with someone of so-called white or so-called Asian or any other thing that I've had? If I was to say 100 times,
mhm,
it would be probably one or two. So why would I base my interactions on a daily basis on a 2% chance that I'm going to have a negative interaction with someone
mm,
based on so-called race?
mhm,
That's if I'm going to have a 98% positive response
mm,
based on race with other human beings, and you told me if 98% I'm going to win, hey, go play the lottery, we have a 98% chance of winning, I would go play the lottery right now, because I have a 98% chance of winning. So why don't I take that 98% positive response and go throughout my life that way? Why do I focus on only that 2% response, or let's say 10% response? Why, or even 20? Why would
mm,
I focus on the negative side when I have all these other positive interactions on this other side. So, like I said, it's big business, race,
Mm.
and I'm not here to slap food out of anybody's mouth. Um, do you and do what you do, but I'll say that my interactions, though I am going to acknowledge that racism is a thing,
Mhm.
it is not the primary or the secondary thing within my life. It's tertiary, and I can deal with it.
This is remarkable, and I think also your life is very versatile, and coming from Jamaica, coming to States, and you went to Navy and stationed in Japan for 5 years. So, do you think that experience also make you more acceptance? Yeah, is that a good?
Japan taught me this wonderful thing that
Yeah.
I can say, which was if you and reach out and you try to speak their language and communicate, then they treat you like everything else. And what happens is, because of the experiences, the little experience that African Americans may experience, or those who go to Japan, they respect the culture there because it's cool. They enjoyed it. So those that came before me set a great example and standard. And so because of what they did, I set a good standard also. But the experience was wonderful, right? And so I then move it forward. So there is that one thing they taught me. Additionally, prior to the advent of race in the 17th century, human beings were categorized fundamentally on two things: either their religion or the language they spoke. And so if you spoke another language, that's how they would differentiate you from something else, or the god you worshipped,
Mm.
not based on your melanin that's in your body that was then used to make sure that you don't crush your folates because of us walking through the savannah as homo sapiens, um, you know on the continent of Africa, right? So when the places where the sun was less, then your skin tone lightened up. And however, melanin, which on the continent of Africa is more diverse than anywhere else in the world, again, it's so diverse there. This melanin is not in terms of genetic makeup as important as these individuals such as Linnaeus and Kant and what's his name, Johann. Yeah, those individuals that shaped that narrative of Western people, but they never ever ever left their continent and their space to actually go out into the world and survey it for what they did. They just crafted a false, very false narrative about race and pushed it out into the world. And here we are 400 years afterwards, eating it up, saying this is true, and it's not.
Wow. That's awesome what you said. Yeah, it makes me think harder. And yeah, I'm from China, and I grew up, very Chinese, and came to this country pretty grown up, and there's always this identity issue, right? Am I Chinese? Am I American? I was joking when I became American citizen. I think it was in 1999. I was joking because you're supposed to go like that. I will, serve my country,
I did
whatever.
that. I did that.
And then I turn around to my husband. I say, "Don't kid me, okay? If China fights with the U.S., I'm still on China's side." Anyway, yeah. So in one way I still feel very Chinese, and in the other hand I feel very American. So this thing is like this, so it's complicated. I want to go back to ask you. I understand you had a training in military in the medical side. You did a lot of different duties, So now you also are a occupational therapist. Tell us a little bit about
Physical
that.
therapy, even though there's
Yeah.
occupational therapy
Okay.
training. Occupational therapy has to do with your job, while physical therapy has to do with your daily functions, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, those are things I learned in the Navy training. When I said Navy medicine, it's whatever your designation, if you're a quad zero, it's vast. you get to do so much. And so I would do on my free time additionally, because I was working to be a PA, I'd go and work with the ortho PA to OJT for my training for later on for what I was trying to do. And so when I came out, because of other certification qualifications that transferred, allowed me to do the tech side of the physical therapy, and in which I do the technical exercises with my patients.
So you still work right now? You
Yes,
still,
I
yeah.
still do the day job, but because it's the perfect day job of I'm I only do a little bit of the exercises and things, and then I go and I write, and then I go, oh look, time again, and then I go do the exercise with my patients, and then I go back and sit down and write, and so that allows me to. It's like the match made in heaven.
That's awesome. And do you need more patient, or you don't really need it? Or
I
you
don't
can.
need any more patience. I
I was
am
like, can I come to
yeah.
see you?
I don't want to do that occupational work anymore. So I'm going on to my I'm moving on to pushing into my film space more than
Yeah,
that. But if you need work,
yeah.
if you need physical therapy, then yeah, we can talk.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Do
Yeah,
you guys hear that? I'm just talking to our audience. Anyway, yeah. So we're almost to our ending time. I usually do a rapid fire with my guest,
sure.
and would you like to do that with me? It's kind of
Let's
fun
do
thing.
it.
Before we do that, do you have anything you want to tell us? You want to promote, like we're doing on Clubhouse? Do you have any last word?
Things to promote.
Yeah.
Darian Donju's 1 Minute Film School.
Woo!
There's a lot going on there. You will learn a lot. A lot of people come in, they pass on information, the structure of what the class has to offer, learning how to make a film if you're interested in filmmaking. It's a wonderful space to do those things. So that's wonderful to do. Stories Love Storytelling with Amanda Moresco on Fridays at 10. By the way, Darian Donju is Saturday at 10. Amanda Moresco at 10 a.m. Amanda Moresco is Fridays at 10 a.m.
Mm,
You go there to that space if you want to understand story structure and how to tell a story. There's a lot of jewels that's handed out in there. Different questions pop up. We help people problem solve within those within that time frame of things. So again, pop up for that. There's a lot of information to learn. Smartphone filmmaking with yourself is another great one. A lot of
mm.
people come in with problems to solve. Smartphones are making it much simpler and easier for you to learn. So go to that space. And for valuable information, check out yedlin.net. That's Steve Yedlin. That'll help you to understand the foundations of shooting using your smartphone, helping you use your smartphone to say the gear isn't the thing. The gear is just a piece of the thing that helps you with your end pipeline. It's just
Can you wait? Excuse me. Can you tell me? Can you spell for me? I'll write it down. What?
YEDLIN dot
L
net.
I. Oh, okay. Dot net.
Yeah, so Yedlin.net. Steve Yedlin is a cinematographer for Knives Out, Glass Onion, and a bunch of other stuff. To Star Wars, The Last Jedi, he's done that. And he's got a lot of technical information. And his approach to capturing an image is it's all with digital cameras that it's all binary. It's all ones and zeros. And at the end, if it's all ones and zeros, you can put it through a pipeline to make it look a specific way that you want it to look.
Mm.
And so understanding that gear isn't what you think, and that people are like, oh, the big full frame and all that other stuff isn't what you think. You can use the ones and zeros. You can use your smartphone and take that to record things and capture what you need. So smartphones are wonderful. Lighting is wonderful, like we talked about lighting
Right.
earlier a
Right.
second.
Right.
Learning how to shape a light is a
Right.
major thing, such as a key light
Do
here.
you want? Do you want to show them what you
Okay,
did before?
great. So
Okay. Yeah.
here's what I showed. So one, the light. Here's this light that's backlight that's behind me that's shaping and doing what it's doing. It brightens up the back, but the contrast that you saw earlier that allowed me to pop out from the background is reduced, right? But also that light behind me is also very it's in the way. It's very, hey, look at me. So it's taken away from the subject. That's me,
Mm,
right? Also, it takes away the shaping of what we had before,
mm,
such as, hey, look, So we have a ratio on one side versus the
mm,
other because we have a key light.
mm,
So here's what also happens if you here's what also happens if you don't have a key light, right?
mm, mm,
So again, light bouncing off my head, the
mm,
light of the key, it's low key because it's coming from behind me,
mm.
right? In its light. And obviously I don't
Yeah,
it hasn't shaped my face in any
like you have a lot
possible.
of light on your
Yeah.
nose
So
and
here's the light
not
because
in
the
your
light
eyes. Yeah.
is directly above
Mm-hmm.
and it's giving the raccoon off tip
Mm,
here on
mm.
the tip of my head here. So um these are things about lighting, the importance of key,
Right, right, right.
high key.
So is your light, what is the color? Because you are very warmer, the color. Is it 600 or whatever?
Well, 46, it's
46? Okay.
no,
It
it's 56. It's 50, it
it
should be
looks
56.
nice. It looks warm. I look at my light right now. It looks like a daylight. It looks too white.
Shift it.
Uh-huh.
If you move it to one side, and also even though here's the thing, as a woman you tend to want that paramount light of coming down and shaping your face and doing
Mm,
all those things, so
mm,
there is a difference there. As a man I like side lighting that allows for my face to be textured and
mm.
wrapped because
Yeah.
it has that moment.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of light you have. If I knew, then I'd be able to help, but also my light is
Mm.
about that big, so it's
Oh, oh,
the bigger the
oh,
source,
okay.
the bigger the source, the
Okay.
softer the light.
Do you have a thing in the front like a
Yeah,
cover?
there's a diffuser
Okay.
there
Uh-huh.
also,
Cool,
and it's
cool,
big. So there's the
cool.
diffuser that's on there, and it's
Yeah.
also big. So it's the bigger the source, the better you want it. Which
Very,
I'll be
very nice. Very
right,
nice.
and it's
Yeah.
funny. I'll be updating it soon.
It says, oh, Daring Dongju said, Ching, you have almost same. Let me put it up. You have almost same color light as Oniffe, but his skin makes the
That's
light
true too.
look warmer. Oh, okay,
That
okay.
is definitely true too.
But I'm a yellow person.
You're not a yellow person. Stop it.
So, Onif, I noticed on your wall, is that like how you do your project? You have stickers.
Yes. So when I'm doing my scripts and I'm going over the script, or I want to, okay, cool, I finished the first draft. I lay them out in sticky notes, act one, act two, act three. And
Hmm.
so I go from each scene, opening scene, and I go through each structure of this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. And I go through the entire structure. And I go, oh, okay, this is where I have
Mm,
my things. This is where I have a
mm,
problem. This is
mm,
where I need to fix.
mm,
That scene works. This scene goes into that scene, it works. That scene doesn't work. And I yank it off and I go, okay, that's gone. That's
mm.
fine. And then I might stick like the red ones with the different colors in there to
Awesome.
say additional scene, new
Awesome.
idea. This
Yeah.
goes here, that goes there. So I use these things to shape
Uh,
out. Um,
very, very good. Very good. Very visual. And also, it's not like when you line up your image on a software and then it's not this long line of story. It's on the computer only this much, right? You have to move to another one. I remember when I did my film, my Young Gun Diary, it was a lot of footage. I actually, every situation I write down on a card, like an index card. So I
that's
will
good.
leave the index on the floor, like just to see what is. Of course,
Yeah, that
you know,
tactile, tangible, that
yeah,
feeling
it's
that you can look at.
tangible.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it
and then you
helps
can
so much.
switch around, and I make a different color. Like one color, if say it's someone interview, talking is one color, and if it's a B roll is some other color. If it's a main A roll is another color. So yeah, that's wonderful. So okay, my advertisement. This is my program. I've done it for 2 years, actually close to
Are
three
you gonna
years.
do rapid fire questions?
Yeah, I will. After that, this is it's called, at the beginning I call it live conversation. Now is live interview, and yeah, please come. Usually it's 5 o'clock. Today I do 7 because you have to work. And then watch my film, my Young Gun Diary. It's on Tubi right now. Onif, you need to watch my film,
I will.
please.
I met Andrew Yang on the train one time on the subway, and he's like, "Yeah, you want a picture?" I was like, "No, I'm good." Yeah, I think I did. No, I did take a picture with him. I did take. Yeah, he was when he was campaigning for president. Yeah,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just on the subway, and I was like, "Oh, what up?" And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So, what else I need to promote? We have a smartphone video production every Friday at 12 noon and Clubhouse. Come to visit us and YouTube channel. Yeah, if you like our program, please subscribe. Please liking. Please watch.
Now,
Watch is
before
more
you
in.
run,
Yeah.
why did you change it from conversations to interview? Because conversation had a nice warm tone to it, like
Mm.
you know.
I don't know. Maybe it's less wordy because I make the thumbnail just
Ah,
say
okay. Interview,
interview so and
conversation.
so. So
They're
if
both
I say
long.
conversation would be
It's long.
a live conversation with so and so, right? You cannot just say live conversation. It's kind of weird. So interview filmmaker. That's what I do. Interview cook. Interview doctor. that's that's
Interviews, it sounds so sterile.
I know,
Conversation
I
was
know,
so like,
I know.
oh wow, okay, we're just gonna
Yeah,
chat.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or I could say chatting, chat, but then you have to say chat
Nah,
with.
nah.
There's
Chat
a one more
sounds very like, oh,
casual.
you're in that little text box thing. So no,
Oh, too casual, right?
to text chat.
Oh, oh, okay, okay, too casual. Yeah, oh, chat. Yeah. All right, rapid fire. Okay,
Yeah,
what is your favorite color?
red,
Right. What is except Jamaican food? What other food do you like?
Japanese.
Mm, okay. What? How many languages do you speak?
Three.
Tell me which thing.
Jamaican, English, Japanese.
Woo! How do you say where's the bathroom in Japanese?
Doko, sumimasen, tole wa doko desu ka?
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'll teach you one. Okay. You ready? 厕所在哪里 in
Toswa,
Chinese? Uh-huh.
toswa,
Mhm.
tai, nali.
Very good. Very good. You have good ear. I told that also to Darian, I think.
Ah, how'd you do, Darian?
Yeah, I told them in our room. All right, so which book you would recommend? Oh, you already told us. Which book,
Book?
not a film book, you like? You recently read.
Oh wow, a couple books. One is a genetic book. The other is what's the name of it that I think it's so good. It's by of Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe.
What is?
He's a Igbo author, and that book is phenomenal. It just gives you a different perspective on just an amazing perspective. Anything that offers an amazing perspective, I am in awe of. But Things Fall Apart, I'd recommend.
Things Fall Apart. Great. Uh, what I was gonna say, who would play you in a movie?
Darian Danger.
He has to grow beard, like
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Um, what's the reason you have such a long beard?
Um, it came out of laziness initially when I got out of the Navy. I was just like, oh, I was shaving for a little bit, and then I moved to Harlem, and I was like, I don't feel like shaving while I was in the process of moving, and I was like, nah, I'll keep it. And then I've trimmed it. It would have been down to here, but I've trimmed it so many times. I trim it constantly. So it's just, oh look, why not have a beard? It's fun. It pops. It's recognizable. You know. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Unforgettable. So, have you ever sing?
No,
But you have a very low voice, like a
I
bass.
do. I mean, when I was in military academy, I went to a military academy for high school. So when I was in school, I was part of the Glee Club, and I was in the section, and so I did sing with this low tone. Yes, but
What is your favorite TV series?
ooh, maybe House.
What is House?
It's the doctor show House.
Oh, I
House
didn't.
MD.
Oh, I did not know that.
It's wonderful. It's on Amazon right now. Currently, I am in love with, sure, House of Dragons is great, but Andor is, I'm a huge fan of that show. I think, like, I'm in awe of Andor, and I'm ready to watch it again
What
because it's
is it
so
about?
good. It's
Is it
on
like a
it's on
fiction?
it's on
It's
Disney Plus. It takes
uh,
place within the Star Wars universe, but it
uh
doesn't do any of the lightsaber or any of the stuff. It's just written by Tony Gilroy and his team. The direction is amazing.
can
All of it.
can
It's
you spell
Andor.
for me?
Andor.
Andor. Okay.
Yes, it's just a
Okay.
well-written show that is, if you want to know about the craft, all that, you want to be enamored by just how, when you, each scene of conflict and how to make those things work, the story structure, your character and their desire, what they want, they want all the things. That show, right? They will teach it all to you. It's bar none phenomenal.
Wow, that's good to know. Did you like Breaking Bad a few years
Yes,
ago?
I
Yeah.
love Breaking Bad.
What's
Breaking
good
Bad took
about
a
it?
while. It
What's
took a
good about it?
while to pick up, but its pilot is one of the best pilots you've ever seen. It hooks you in. It shows you this life of this average person that is more than just an average person. He was an exceptional chemist, and life gave some choices to him. So he was already exceptional. And now here's him placed into a circumstance of things with his family, cancer, what he wants to do for them, desire. And then you watch him just go into this general
Go
direction
out
of
of
just
control.
like, huh, this man right here
Yeah.
is on a different scale of just like, wow.
Yeah.
I like to keep watching you. And then the characters he is introduced and he deals with, these, his problem solving skills of just, there is always a problem, but Walter White is always going to solve it.
Yeah.
Plus his last name and my last name is the same,
Yeah. Otherwise, so do you think that credit the show is so great? Do we give the credits to Walter White or the writer or both?
Across the board. It's Gilligan, the acting, all of it is bar none. Funny thing is, we like to hand out the credit to the quarterback or the person that we can see, just like in football, where they go, "Oh, the quarterback won," but in truth, it's a whole team effort. It's this wonderful team effort of just the thoughts and the execution of that, and so from across the board with the above the line and below the line. And this isn't me talking politics, it's just me saying filmmaking is a
Yeah.
collaborative effort. And if there's
Yeah.
one piece within that cog that is failing, it's going to mess up the entire thing. And a
Mhm.
director or a showrunner has to be able to hold it all together.
Right.
And it was held together, but what you saw on screen every week, consistency across the board. And so everybody delivered.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. All right. What's your junk food favorite?
Uh Probably use mandarin oranges of late.
Oh, that's not junk food. That's healthy food.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Nutella, these Nutella cookies. They're these brand new, just saw them, and they're these cookies that they have like a thing and then Nutella, and they're amazingly good. And it's stupid how you just like, wow. I'm supposed to be on like okay, diet because of things, and I just keep eating them because I'm stupid. They're that good.
My favorite snack is peanuts, roasted peanuts.
That's
You
not
have
junk
you
food.
have to peel it. Yeah, that's not junk food. I don't have junk food. I don't eat junk food.
Try those Nutella cookies. You might lose your mind.
Where do you buy them?
I buy
Any
them in this store on West End called Gracefully.
gracefully?
Yeah, yeah, it's on 66 in West End,
That's
Gracefully.
funny.
But
Gracefully.
yeah,
Okay.
other than
Okay.
that, you can
Nutella.
probably find them in any store. They're
Oh,
really
okay.
good.
Okay. Yeah. You are my bad influence.
Good.
Okay. All right. So two more questions. If you have a chance to take three-person for dinner, who would you separately? Okay. Who would you take?
Three persons for dinner.
Uh,
Um.
Live or dead?
Oh, three persons for dinner. Steven Spielberg is one of them. I like, definitely. I'm a director. I want to be able to have, this interaction with a director. David Fincher is another one. another director. I can't help myself.
Mm,
It's just the way it is. And maybe Michael Jackson, because he was just Michael Jackson. He was fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Plus,
He's
there's a
a
lot to learn because at the
talent.
end of the day, when you watch Michael Jackson, he was responsible for every little detail of what his show was.
Uh-huh.
So he's fundamentally a showman, a director, all that stuff, and he was specific down to his voice of
Mm.
why, how he puts his voice across. That wasn't Michael's original
And
voice.
feet.
Yeah, yeah, but that's not Michael's voice. Michael's voice is much darker
Uh,
than, I mean, deeper than what actually gets displayed. But it gives
really?
you that, yes, it's
To me,
actually
he's almost like a kind of female, a little bit
Michael's
soprano-ish.
voice is
Uh-huh.
deep,
Oh.
but and other people will tell you it's deep. But again, he wants to come off as non-aggressive in how he presents himself, and so he
Mm,
shapes his image in a specific way.
mm.
Yes, because
Okay.
that's what you do.
That's awesome. Yeah. You make me really want to tell you who I am falling in love now. Okay. So I'm gonna give you, oh sorry. I'm gonna give you a link right now and give everybody a link actually. Because I believe he was a lot of people do not know him. Okay, I'll put it in the chat. Okay. Okay, so you guys figure that out. All right, last question.
Yes.
Coffee or tea?
Was that?
Coffee or tea?
Oh, it depends. I like the pistachio latte at Starbucks, so I'll drink that because I'm a pistachio fanatic. But yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So
yeah,
I'll drink.
you're high maintenance.
That's 100% true. Um, so there's that. But prior to that, I was a tea guy, so I would drink different types of tea. So
Uh,
it just depends on what I'm feeling for at the moment
okay,
and what's
great.
in season. So
That's
no,
fair. That's fair.
yeah.
All right, so everybody,
So hold
thank
up,
you. Oh,
take back the high maintenance because I can drink tea if there's tea available, and I can drink my pistachio
you,
coffee if it's available.
you drink Lipton tea, you know?
No Lipton, no, I'm not
No,
drinking Lipton.
oh no,
So yeah,
Japanese green tea.
I do have Japanese green tea. Yes, I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
drink
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Actually, as
yeah.
a matter of fact, I put it in here. I put like two of the tea
Oh,
bags in here,
wow,
and
fancy,
then
fancy.
put ice, and then nice and
Oh,
cold tea.
that's not Japanese way. We Chinese Japanese we
No,
eat we eat hot tea.
no. There's a Japanese way of cold tea that goes in
Really?
the fridge. Yeah, they
Really? Oh,
the
I didn't
big
know that.
square bags of
Oh,
there's like these
okay.
big, very big square tea bags of cold tea, and so
Oh,
they stick it in a thing with cold water, and they stick it in
really?
the fridge, and it
Hey,
brews over. Yeah.
we have a Japanese audience there. Snow Sugar video. She's a Japanese. Hey, Yukiko, is he telling the truth?
Yeah,
Okay, so thank you so much for
konnichiwa.
being with us, and that was a lot of fun, and yeah, so I will see you in Clubhouse more,
Yes,
and
and it's
yeah,
great to see you. I mean,
yeah,
I've seen pictures of you. I
yeah,
knew what I looked like when I
yeah.
sent you my picture, and you're just like, wait, that's Oniffe. But
That picture doesn't look like you.
it
You
does not
sent
look
it.
like me.
No, that picture looks so serious, so dark.
It's because sun was covering my eyes. You mean like this?
No, no, no. That picture looks really serious. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
because
it's not
when
bad though.
when I took it, sun was coming in from the big window,
Oh,
so
okay,
my eye furrowed
okay,
because of the light, and that's all.
okay. All right. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, Snow Sugar video says true. That's true. Okay, you have one more. Sorry, one more point. Did you hear me say one more point? Okay, Onif. So
All
when you
right.
come to New York, when you come to the city, oh, you are already come to city. Let's
Yeah,
hang out.
I'm there from Monday through
Yeah,
Fridays.
let's hang out. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
This was fun.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. And thank you, people watching us. And
Audience, thank
yeah,
you. I
yeah.
appreciate it. Bye.
Bye, dear. Bye.
Bye bye.
Click. Yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being with us. Yokiko. D sorry, I'm terrible. Dening, and then Darren Dangju, Lewis, where's my friend Mark? Mark disappeared. Sean and Mark. Yeah. Thank you for being with us, Jeremy and Kathleen. Who else? Just wanted to thank you, James. Yeah, James ruined my life. Introduced to me this great singer. All right, okay, bye. See you again, on Clubhouse or in person, and behave yourselves. Okay, bye now.